we're not done tonight. Or, if you're in Europe, Guten Tag. Welcome to the morning, the day of November 18th. In my case, it's the evening of November 17th, turning into the morning of November 18th, and I can see it now as my computer has turned over to November 18th. Still feels like the 17th, though. I don't feel any older. We have 5 games tomorrow, including a matinee game. And because of this matinee game, and the latest that any game starts tomorrow is 5 o'clock. So tomorrow, hockey will be over for me at 7:30, 10:30 on the East Coast. But it means that I'll be able to get my review done early tomorrow and might have time to watch a movie with the wife. Okay, Dallas. The Dallas Stars 10-7-2. They're in against New York Islanders, who are 10-6-2. And the Islanders are kind of on a bit of a run. And they're going to try to maintain that in a game against a Dallas Stars team that has been in a bit of a rut. They won their last game in overtime 1-0. Not something that I think they're going to write home about. I mean, you get the win, and it's a shutout for Bishop. But at the end, you want to score a little more. Speaking of which, their leading scorer is Tyler Seguin with 5 goals, 12 assists. That's 17 points in 19 games. Followed by Jamie Benn, 7 goals and 7 assists. That's 14 points in 19 games. I'm not allowed to point out that Jamie Benn's not producing a lot, because people will truck out stats from years ago. I look at now, not years ago. Klingberg, 5 goals, 8 assists. Of course, he's out. Radulov, 6 goals, 6 assists. Spezza, 4 goals, 7 assists. Shore, 5 goals, 6 assists. Heiskanen, 2 goals, 6 assists. And Dickinson is on the board now with 4 goals and 3 assists. On the Islanders side of things, Bailey, 6 goals, 13 assists. Barzal, 2 goals, 15 assists for him. Nelson, 9 goals, 6 assists. Lee, 6 goals, 9 assists. Filppula, 5 goals, 7 assists. Eberle, 5 goals, 5 assists. Cizikas, 5 goals, 4 assists. And Komarov is on the board with 3 goals and 5 assists. Good for you, Leo. The New York Islanders, it is a very sort of a no-name bunch. And I know Islander fans may take offense to that because Lee had 40 goals last year and Barzal was Rookie of the Year. But compared to what we thought, this Islanders team has accomplished a lot more than expected. And you have some guys like Nelson that are not probably very well known outside of Islander fan circles. And of course, coming into this season, Nelson wasn't necessarily thought of as a great scorer for the Islanders either, even by Islanders fans. Maybe he benefited from Tavares moving out. Maybe he gets more responsibility than he did and he appreciates it more. Who knows? On the Dallas side of things in net, Hudobin, 3-2-1 record, 2.32 goals against, 926 save percentage. Ben Bishop, 7-5-1 record, 2.4 goals against, 920 save percentage. So those are evening up nicely. On the Islanders side of things, Leonard, 4-4-1 record, 2.59 goals against, 921 save percentage. And Grace, 6-2-1 record, 2.3 goals against, 930 save percentage. Remember, Leonard was brought in part to make sure that Grace, if he had another rough season, he could bail him out. But you know what? Grace is kind of doing right now for the Islanders what Hellebuck did for the Jets last year, which was, you're going to take my starts? I don't think that's going to happen. When you look at the team stats, over their last 10, Dallas is 5-3-2. The Islanders are 7-2-1. When you look at special teams, Dallas 20.8 on the power play, 81.4% on the penalty kill for a total of 102.2. The Islanders 19% on the power play, 79% on the penalty kill for 98%. As the season prolongs and as we get into late November, these numbers really start evening up quite a bit. There are some teams that you're going to see with incredible numbers with special teams and some with abysmal, but for the most part, things even up quite a bit. On the road, Dallas is 3-4-1. At home, the Islanders are 5-1-2. This would heavily favor the Islanders. Against the East, Dallas is 4-6-1, and against the West, the Islanders are 3-4. All of these numbers point to a win for the Islanders tomorrow night. The Islanders are scoring more, they're playing better, they're better at home than Dallas is on the road, and the record against the West is slightly better than Dallas's record against the East. That being said, this should be a fun game, and according to the save percentages, both teams have had better goaltending than was expected this year. But we'll see. Up next, I want to explain that this board was cleaned and the matchups were put up there by my lovely wife before she went upstairs tonight, and I thank her for that so that I could get this done a little faster. Because you got to get all the mini magnets off there and all that stuff. So she did all that. but she got a couple of matchups backwards, and I caught one. I didn't get this one. So she initially had Carolina, New Jersey, which is why these are backwards, okay? Don't worry, we'll get through it, and I love her very much for doing that for me. Because another woman probably would have said, I'm not doing that, hell with it. Carolina 8-8-3. Do I look like you're serving? New Jersey 8-8-2 record for them. So New Jersey in against Carolina. We know New Jersey's road record, but it's getting better. Can't stay that bad forever. And Carolina at home, not fantastic. And both of these teams have been iffy in their last 10. So your guess is as good as mine. Now, as I said, this is going to be flipped. So the home team first. Aho leads them in scoring with 6 goals, 17 assists. Teravainen, 4 goals, 11 assists. Ferland, 9 goals, 4 assists. Williams, 1 goal, 10 assists for 11 points. Stahl, 5 goals, 3 assists. Svechnikov, 4 goals, 4 assists. Falk has a goal and 7 assists. And Slavin, 2 goals and 5 assists. And when I look at Falk's numbers, I say if he's the one that Toronto would get in exchange for William Nylander, they would have to ask for more than that. And it is not an insult to Falk. It is a compliment to Nylander. I think he's better than some people give him credit for. That being said, let's look at New Jersey's scorers. Palmieri leads the way with 11 goals, 9 assists. So 20 points in 18 games. Pretty solid start for Palmieri. Hall, second up, 5 goals, 14 assists. Zajac, 7 goals, 7 assists. Severson now has 3 goals and 10 assists. He has passed the injured Hischier, 3 goals, 9 assists. Coleman has 7 goals and 4 assists. Boyle, 6 goals, 1 assist. And Butcher, 1 goal, 6 assists to round out the top 8. Coleman's having an excellent start to the season as well. Goaltending, Mrazek, 3-3-2 record, 2.75 goals against, 880 save percentage. Darling, 2-3-1 record, 2.99 goals against, 903 save percentage. McElhinney, 3-2 record with a 2.81 goals against, 884 save percentage. On the Jersey side of things, Kincaid, 8-5-2 record, 2.62 goals against, 916 save percentage. I would expect Schneider tomorrow because it's a back-to-back. Schneider's 0-3, of course. 4.82 goals against, 849 save percentage, and he desperately needs a good game. Corey Schneider desperately needs a good game for New Jersey. And I'll say this, as a Vancouver fan, if New Jersey is of a mind to trade away Schneider and his contract, as a Canuck fan, I would love to see him back in Vancouver and see if that would turn him around. Absolutely would love that. Last 10 games, New Jersey's 3-5-2, Carolina's 3-6-1. So they've both won 3 out of their last 10. This is one of those somebody has to win games. Special teams, New Jersey 22.2 on the power play, 83.3% on the penalty kill for a total 105.5. Carolina 16.2% on the power play. They're getting better. 72.6% on the penalty kill for a total of 88.8. On the road, New Jersey's 2-7. Versus the East, they're 5-6-1. At home, Carolina's 4-4-2, and versus the East, they're 3-4-2. And for both of these teams, they're looking at moving up in the Metro, a division which suddenly looks weaker than the Atlantic. I don't know if it's going to stay weaker than the Atlantic, but right now, it definitely looks weaker than the Atlantic. And I am just as surprised as anybody else by that. That is absolutely stunning information that I hadn't expected at all. Next up, Minnesota, 12-6-2 after tonight. They're in against the Chicago Blackhawks, 7-8-5. So this is a back-to-back. I would expect Stalock to play here. Minnesota's going to be looking for a bounce back after tonight's result against Buffalo. Chicago, of course, looking to get something going. They haven't lost in regulation in their last 2, so I think it's 2. It might be 3. But anyways, they haven't lost in the last couple of games, I know, in regulation. And they're looking to get something going in Chicago. The Minnesota Wild are currently 12-6-2, and their leading scorer is Granlund with 10 goals, 9 assists. Parise second with 8 goals and 9 assists. Koivu, 4 goals and 13 assists. He's been on a tear lately. Suter, 3 goals, 12 assists. Stahl with 6 goals and 8 assists. Zucker's tied with him with that, 6 goals and 8 assists as well. Dumba, lots of goals for him from that blue line, 8 goals, 4 assists. And Coyle with 3 goals and 7 assists rounds out the top 8. On the Chicago side, Patrick Kane, 12 goals, 11 assists. Taves, 9 goals, 7 assists. DeBrincat, 9 goals, 7 assists. Seabrook with 3 goals, 7 assists. Saad has 5 goals, 4 assists. Anisimov, 2 goals, 7 assists. Yoki Haru is stuck at 9 assists right now. And Schmaltz with 2 goals and 6 assists. In goal, Dubnyk, who played tonight, 9-5-2 record, 2.36 goals against, 925 save percentage. I expect Stalock tomorrow. He's 3-1 with a 2.75 goals against, 905 save percentage. Chicago side of things, Crawford, 4-6-1 record, 2.57 goals against, 916 save percentage. And Cam Ward, 3-2-4 record, 3.81 goals against, 891 save percentage. When you look at the records over the last 10 games, Minnesota's 6-4, which isn't as good as you might imagine it would be when you look at their 12-6-2 record, but they're still up there, and Chicago's 1-6-3, which is a giant ouch. Special teams, this favors Minnesota, 21.2% on the power play, 85.7% on the penalty kill, for a 106.9 score. And Chicago, 13.1% on the power play, 75% penalty kill for an 88.1 score, which is a difference of about 18% between the two teams. So it is an advantage for Minnesota, but these are division rivals, so that might go out the window. On the road, Minnesota's 6-4. Against the West, they're 11-4-1. Chicago at home is 4-3-3, and versus the West, they're 4-5-3. So Minnesota makes a lot of hay against the West. Tons. Lots. Like a Saskatchewan farmer. So when people are like, do they make hay? They make wheat. Don't they make wheat? Is he talking about straw? Does he have any clue? Has he been to Saskatchewan? I lived in Regina when I was a young child. Yes, I did. I know Saskatchewan. I don't. I lived there, and the best thing that I felt about living in Regina was that we were right down from Moose Jaw. I love the name Moose Jaw. I was addicted to the name Moose Jaw. That was my favorite in the world. We go to the air show in Moose Jaw and just going to Moose Jaw. But yeah, Minnesota's going to Chicago, the Windy City, and we'll see how that turns out for them. This to me feels like an upset. This to me feels like a game that Chicago should come out. It's a division rival. They really should come out. They should be able to win this game. So it's one of those games I look at and I say, Chicago, are they bad? Yes. Are they historically bad? No, not really. This last 10 games have been a lot of, there's been some bad luck, some bad play here and there. But they're better than this. I don't think they're as good as that 3-0-2 start made them look like they were, but they're not as bad as this 1-6-3 run either. So they're kind of in the middle there. Next up, Colorado. The Avalanche, 9-6-4. Here's a good test. They're in against the 8-9-4 Anaheim Ducks. Colorado wants to be better. The Ducks want to be better. This is kind of one of those somebody has to win games too. Although for Colorado, it feels like they're starting to come through it. The win they had over the Bruins felt like they're starting to come through it. We'll see. Their leading scorer, of course, is Mikko Rantanen with 7 goals, 22 assists. McKinnon, 12 goals, 14 assists. Landeskog now at 20 points with 12 goals and 8 assists. Barrie, a goal and 15 assists. Kerfoot, 4 goals, 10 assists. Soderberg, 7 goals, 6 assists. Girard, 1 goal, 8 assists. And Wilson has 5 goals and 3 assists now for the Colorado Avalanche. So he's in the top 8, which is good for Wilson, honestly. He's on pace now for 20 goals. Good for him. On the Anaheim side, they don't have enough people on pace for 20 goals. Raquel's 3 goals and 10 assists. Raquel leading the team in scoring is fine, but 3 goals is not. Getzlaf, 4 goals, 8 assists. He's been cold the last few games. Silverberg, 5 goals, 5 assists. Fowler, of course, who's injured, 3 goals, 7 assists. Lindholm, 2 goals, 8 assists. Henrique, 4 goals, 5 assists. Aberg with 6 goals and 1 assist. Comtois, 2 goals and 5 assists. Tonight on Hockey Night in Canada, Don Cherry talked a bit about Cam Fowler putting his stick out and the fact that the puck bounced off his stick and hit him in the face. And talked about how defensemen need to stop putting their stick out like that because it's dangerous and it can lead to a puck hitting you in the face. I don't disagree with that a whole lot. I've sometimes wondered why little kids wear face cages and at some point in hockey you stop. It's weird. It sort of reminds me of how in sports men invented the cup decades before they started wearing helmets, showing what they really value. And this kind of feels that way too. So anyways, that's what I thought of with the Fowler injury. And it is kind of funny because it would be preventable if you wore the face cages you wear at some point in junior and then you stop. And I get it. People are going to say, oh, that's stupid. You can't bring that in. But you'd prevent so many injuries. You'd prevent a ton of injuries in the game. Anyways, just trying to think outside the box and think that protecting your face is just as important as protecting your junk. But I could be wrong about that. All right. In goal for the Colorado Avalanche, it could be Grubauer, 3-1-2 record, 3.46 goals against, 893 save percentage. But more likely it's Varlamov with a 6-5-2 record, 2.32 goals against, 926 save percentage. On the Anaheim side of things, Ryan Miller's 2-2 with a 2.49 goals against, 929 save percentage. And Gibson, who's wearing down, 6-7-4 record, 2.55 goals against, 928 save percentage. I'm going to go ahead and pull him off the table as a Vezina-nominated goaltender or a potential Vezina winner for now, but I reserve the right to go back to him later. Records over the last 10. Colorado, 3-5-2 record. Anaheim, 3-4-3 record. Power play and penalty kill, 28.1% on the power play, 80.3% on the penalty kill. 108.4 is the total number for the Colorado Avalanche. On the Anaheim side of things, 14% power play, 82.9% penalty kill, 96.9% rating overall. On the road, Colorado's 5-4-2. Against the West, they're 2-4-2, which surprised me. And Anaheim's 5-3-4 at home. They're 5-7-2 against the West. So neither of these teams like playing against Western Conference opponents. Neither of them have great records where they're playing. For Colorado, it's on the road, and for Anaheim, it's at home. But somebody's got to win this game. My bet is that it'll be Colorado, but I'm wearing Colorado gear right now, which means they likely won't. People point out the jinx regularly. I don't know the stats. You guys have to go back and look at all the previews and see, does Shannon really, every team he wears for the preview, they lose that day? I don't know. It's one of those stats that's got to be out there somewhere. It's probably on Reddit somewhere. Underneath all the comments about how stupid I am and how I don't know what I'm doing. There's a lot of that on Reddit. Lots. It's sort of like staring straight into the sun going on to Reddit. Next up, and finally, Vegas Golden Knights 8-11-1. Boy, they're on pace for 33 wins this year. Remember last year when they had like 50 or 51? Wow. This has been a rough ride. And against them are the Edmonton Oilers, who at 9-8-1 have to be feeling kind of like they're going through a rough time too. Edmonton needs to make the playoffs. Vegas, would they like to? Yes. Is it the end of the world if they don't? Honestly, it isn't. It's their second year. There's still a lot of good young prospects coming up. Yes, they lost a guy in Nick Suzuki. They may regret losing as soon as a year from now, if/when he comes up for the Canadiens, and looking at what Patches has done so far in Vegas. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's more pressure on Edmonton, I think, than there is on Vegas. Because while Vegas went to the finals last year, they are still a new team, and you can expect a bit of a fallback this year. And for Edmonton, you can't keep wasting years for Connor McDavid and this team. Marchessault leads the way in scoring for Vegas with 8 goals and 7 assists. Karlsson's next with 4 goals and 10 assists. And William Karlsson would admit he's got to be better. Marchessault would admit in recent games he's got to be better. 15 points in 20 games puts him on pace for about 60, 61 points. Tuck, 5 goals, 6 assists. He's been excellent since coming back from injury. Eakin, 7 goals and 3 assists. Theodore, 2 goals, 8 assists. Smith, 3 goals and 4 assists in 20 games. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I've been talking about it most of this season. I don't think Riley Smith is playing well enough to be on a top line anywhere. And I honestly think that is a big part of what's gone wrong with Vegas. Howla, 2 goals and 5 assists. Of course, he's out for quite a while. Holden, 2 goals and 5 assists, is still on the board. On the Edmonton side of things, it's McDavid with 11 goals, 16 assists. Draisaitl with 11 goals, 10 assists. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 4 goals, 14 assists. Chason, 7 goals and 1 assist after getting another goal tonight. Clefbaum, 8 assists. Larson with 7 assists. Reeder with 7 assists. And Kajula has 6 goals to get on the board as well. Honorable mention to Darnell Nurse with 2 goals, 4 assists. Goaltenders, Fleury, 8-8-1 record, 2.60 goals against, 901 save percentage. It's weird that he has a 901 save percentage and 3 shutouts. He's been hit and miss this season. He's on pace for 12 shutouts, and yet his save percentage would not be top 20 in the league. It's strange. Subban, 0-3 record, 3.17 goals against, 885 save percentage. And I do wonder if George McPhee may pull the trigger at some point and pick up a different backup. I do wonder about that. On the Edmonton side of things, Talbot's been confirmed as starting already. 5-7-1 record, 3.09 goals against. 3.09 goals against. and an .895 save percentage. And putting Talbot in there makes a lot of sense because Koskinen played tonight. It's a back-to-back. And since it's Vegas, yeah, give Talbot the shot against Vegas, a team that's had trouble scoring. Perfect. Koskinen's now 4-2 with a 2.6 goals against and a .917 save percentage. So the shine has not come off Mikko Koskinen just yet. Team records, both of them are 4-6 in their last 10 games. Both of them not happy with their record over the last 10 games. On the road, Vegas is really unhappy with the record, but we'll get to that after special teams. Special teams have become better for Vegas. They're at 15.9% on the power play, better than the 0 they were pitching in their first 7 or 8 games. 86.4% on the penalty kill, which is amazing. They're at a 102.3 rating. Edmonton, 19.7% on the power play, which is better, but 75% on the penalty kill, which is not, for a total of 94.7. On the road, Vegas is 3-8. Not good enough, which is right up there with the 2-7 record of New Jersey on the road. That'll kill you every time. You've got to be decent on the road. They're 3-3-1 versus the West. Edmonton at home, 4-3-1. Got to improve that home record if they're going to make the playoffs. And they're 4-4 versus the West. So this is going to be an interesting game because both teams should play desperate. But we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video. And now I get to upload this and go to sleep. And then tomorrow we start all over again. Thank you guys so much for this journey through another week of hockey, which ended in a power rankings I'm sure everybody's agreeing upon as I'm doing this video, which is just wonderful. And I will talk to you guys again soon.